I get to interview all sorts of amazing creators, activists, entrepreneurs, while we're doing things in the wellness world, while we're having real conversations around how these people decided to break out of their lane and create a 360 diversified background for themselves. We are here with Steph Shep. We are in your neck of the woods at Dr. Ellie's. So I don't know how long you've been seeing Dr. Ellie, but we're about to do some acupuncture, acupressure.
Yeah. No, this is my spot. And I was so excited to bring you here because it's like it's not like my secret spot. I'm not trying to gatekeep or anything because I think everyone should go to her, but it's like my favorite wellness place in Los Angeles.
Okay, well, take it from the wellness queen herself. I am very excited to be here. And obviously, Steph is a perfect example of someone who is diversified outside of her field and is really just the, multi-hyphenate that I think so many millennials are now, just really embracing. So we're going to go into a whole conversation while we're like on the table, like doing all of our things. So
I'm so excited.
Check it out. Okay.
Basically doing an acupuncture session, and also we have a stone on the actual energy area. So because we believe that the upper part of the body should be more yin, and which is cold, and underneath the belly button it should be more yang, which is hot and warm. So we're balancing right now with using the resources of acupuncture. Also, we'll be doing cupping soon, which also promotes with the blood circulation. And we're giving her a little bit of a face treatment so she could relax.
And I'm doing more acupressure with a little bit of acupuncture because I'm pregnant, so we're doing different treatments today.
I think you're always cold.
This is amazing. So Steph,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about how you knew that you were ready to take like a leap and really kind of go out and do your own entrepreneurial thing. Because I know, you worked as you're a COO of Kardashian for a while, and so like, how did you know you were ready to branch out?
I don't know. I think I've been lucky enough that life, just a feeling that I get of, it's happened to me in a couple different positions that I've worked in, but just kind of feeling like maybe I accomplished all that I could accomplish, and kind of feeling like just that inner, monologue saying what else is there? And with working for Kim, I don't think I could have ever left on my own. I always say she was kind of like a mama bird, pushing me out of the nest, because, when you love your job and when you're really passionate about the company you work with, and it was hard to leave. But those uncomfortable moments where you're a little bit scared but you're a little bit excited is when I feel like it's time to take the jump. And since then I've always kind of searched for those uncomfortable moments, what's going to push me, because if something's easy, if I could do a job with my eyes closed, or if I'm not feeling challenged, or if I'm not growing or feeling that uncomfortable feeling, then I think you really have to reevaluate and see, what you need to change, and maybe see where you need to take the next step.
You obviously do more than content creation, but your content creation really has this very strong emphasis on activism and environmental issues, and everything kind of has a sustainable angle to it. Where does that passion come from? And tell us a little bit about how that kind of also helped start Future Earth.
I have always kind of had an interest in environmental studies. My short stint in college, I minored in environmental studies, and it's always been a general interest of mine. And then I when I wasn't working and I was just kind of like in this no man's land of like, what am I going to do next? I went to a climate reality training that Vice President Gore hosts. And it's like a weekend seminar where you have a crash course in like everything that relates to the climate crisis, the problems, the solutions, local issues. It's such an amazing experience, and I encourage like everyone to go do it because I learn something every time. I've been to like 5 or 6 now.
Wow.
And then just kind of also like stumbling into having a following on social media was not anything that I ever sought to have. Like, you remember when like social media like wasn't a thing?
Yeah.
And we just like posted like our food with like a Valencia filter?
Yes. Oh my
Like,
God.
I never, at that point, like this whole world of like content creation and influencers and stuff was not, it didn't exist. So I didn't really ever seek out having a following or even know what to do with it if I did have it. And, you know, by association and who I worked with, I ended up, you know, garnering this following on social media. And I'm like, well, if people are listening to what I have to say, I better say something fucking important.
Yeah.
And I just felt a responsibility to like share things that maybe people wouldn't think about or look into otherwise. You know, it's climate crisis is a bit daunting. I completely understand that, and there's a lot of information and misinformation. And the more I learned, the more I was like,
That's
people
like-
need to care.
It's like you're almost debunking it for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was just this like, as I'm learning this, I want to share with my friends. And so as I was doing the research for myself, I was like, I need to find a way to share this with my friends in a way that this Instagram culture is going to care and engage with, because we're all stuck and glued to our phones. So like, how can we make this digestible and aesthetically engaging and bite-sized so that my friends who, you know, are scrolling for fashion posts will stop and look at this, and it'll be something that they, you know, feel like is being directed at them, or in a way that they feel they're spoken to. Because sometimes it can be too scientific or too environmental or too one side of the spectrum where you're like, I don't see myself here.
Right.
So I can't be a part of this conversation. And we wanted to create a space where it's like, no, it's me, it's you, it's all of us.
Right.
Like, you don't have to be living a zero waste lifestyle. You don't have to have a degree in, you know, climate science. Like, it takes every person and everyone's unique set of skills and jobs and opinions. And so that's kind of how Future Earth came to be. I just really wanted my friends to care.
You do consulting for brands, and if so, or if not, what the brands that you do work with, like, I feel like you kind of end up working in a larger capacity than just, you know, a traditional brand endorsement.
Yeah.
So how do you think about that?
Well, firstly, I love that I'm talking about this with this mask on my face, because it just feels really true to who I am as a person and what I want to give the world. So in the beginning, like, just being honest, I was just trying to make money.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out the platform. I was trying to get a check. And I was like, how can I build this business? I'll take anybody who's going to give me any money. And then,
By the way, same is true with me.
you know, I was just like, you want to pay me to do this? I'll post about it. I didn't really have a conscious as much as I do now, where I do feel that responsibility to collaborate with brands who have the same ethos as I do, or if they don't, being able to use my knowledge to leverage change within their business, and to use what I know and my platform to talk about things that they could do or that they're doing, and highlight, you know, different ways brands are really trying to be more sustainable.
I do this thing where basically, like, I think about, like, where I want to be in, like, 5 to 7 years. What, like, you know, what, and, like, this whole series is really, like, thinking about legacy. And, you know, I have aspirations, I have goals, and basically what then I try and do is, like, reverse engineer that.
Yeah.
And figure out what steps I need to take
To get there.
to get there.
Yeah.
So do you have, like, do you think about your 5-year, 7-year?
Totally.
And what are kind of, do you do a similar, like, reverse situation while also obviously, like, you know, living in the moment and
assessing all the opportunities that come to you now, but like,
yeah, I mean, I literally just had a meeting today of like, what are my 6-month goals? What are my 12-month goals? My year, like my life mission and as a whole, you know, everything from work to relationships to, you know, just the person that I want to be in my life. And then obviously that's kind of like a lifelong kind of discovery.
Yeah.
But I really, it's so crazy because it's so funny, like to ask me this question like 5 years ago to ask me this question now. I think 5 years ago I'd have been like, I want to have made this much money and I want to have had this and this house and this car. And honestly, like some of the things that I've gone through personally over the last couple of years have just shifted my perspective so much in the types of benchmarks and goals that I set for my life.
yeah,
And like last year in particular, I was like, I just really want to feel fulfilled. And like, I don't know what that looks like. And I don't necessarily know how to get there, but like knowing that that is the goal rather than like, I want to make this much money.
yep,
I'm like, I just want to feel fulfilled. Like, I don't know what it is that it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be content creation. I don't know if it's going to be acting, but like, I want to find something that really satiates me, that really like makes me want to wake up in the morning and work hard. I would love to have some success as an actor and feel accomplished on my own for something that I've worked really hard at as a craft and as a talent.
wait,
Like,
I love that. I didn't like really know that about you.
that's just something that like I always wanted to do and never had the confidence. And then I lost my mom at the end of 2020 and it completely shifted my entire existence.
Yeah,
And so I was
sorry.
like I just completely lost a sense of fear. Like I was like, I have no fear of failure. I have no fear of rejection. I was afraid to get married because I was afraid of divorce. I was afraid of putting myself out there as an actor or doing something that I wasn't the box that I was put in, and afraid of being like, oh, well, what if I fail, or what if I'm not good, or what if people don't, you know, accept it. And I just lost that fear because the thing that I feared the most happened.
right.
And so I was like, there's nothing possibly worse than what just happened to me can happen. So fuck it. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do.
Wait, that's
And
like really beautiful.
it was freeing and terrifying.
Yeah.
And I started just, you know, because I originally moved to LA to dance, and I wanted to like go on tour. I wanted to be a pussycat doll. Like I wanted
Yeah.
to dance and sing and would do all of that, and I just kind of fell into other things. So I was like, let me get back to that, because that actually at my core is like what makes me feel like the most like myself.
I really try my hardest not to let fear be something that holds me back, and in a lot of ways, like I talk about it all the time in terms of like, you know, not caring what other people think about me or my choices or my you know, just like not letting other people's opinions define me.
Yeah.
And I've always been pretty good with rejection, because I always just say it's a redirection.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's definitely something that, like, you know, it almost like it gets easier with practice. Like the more, you know. And
I would
that's
never
just
think
real
that
life.
I would never think that you would care what other people think. I've never thought you had that attitude. Like I feel like you're a very no fucks given kind of a thing.
Well, thanks. I'm glad I give off that
You do.
energy.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. I mean, my mom was an actress, and it's not for the faint of heart, you
No.
know? Like my sister always wanted to be an actress, and I think rejection was too difficult for her.
Yeah.
And so it is really inspiring to hear you say, like, you know, just like the fear is gone, and like,
well, I
just
think
how-
too, it's like I've adopted this like, what's meant for me is going to be for me.
Right.
And like if I didn't get this role, that's because it's not my role.
Right.
And like there will, like it will be, you know.
Totally.
And if I don't get some job, or if I don't, you know, whatever it is, like, it just wasn't meant for me. And if you just lean into that and just know that, like, and just trust in, like, what you're doing and the good that you're putting out, and just trust the universe has your back, like, it kind of helps to calm those anxieties. And also, Lawrence always says to me, he's always like, no one's checking for you. Because I'll be like, but what if, you know, what are people going to think? He's like, stop. He's like, no one's checking for you. Like, everyone is so obsessed with their own selves.
It's so true.
That, like, no one's checking for you. So you do one thing, so you fail, so your business doesn't, you know, sell, so it goes under, so you close your doors, so you pivot, so you do something different. People will remember it for 1 second, and then they're so self-involved that they'll move on.
Totally.
And it's fine.
Okay, this leads me into like a bit of like a...
Can I take this mask off so I can talk with my real face?
Oh my god, you have a oh my god, I'm just looking at you. You have a full...
Because I've literally said all of this stuff with this full mask on my face, and I'm like,
Wait, I'm dead.
I'm like,
This
do
is
I look
amazing.
crazy? Do
No,
I
you
look
kind-
crazy?
No, you kind of look amazing.
Okay, just so I can have like a little bit of conversation, like, with my actual face. It feels really good though,
Wait, I'm loving this.
that I'm just like saying all these things, just like
I barely had
barely-
my eyes closed.
I was
this
like
whole time.
barely moving my lips. Like,
Let's talk about work-life balance.
I think I have a decent work-life balance, because I give a lot to both, and I try and be mindful of that time.
I mean, I feel like if you're like, it sounds like you're just really intentional.
I try to be.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of at the core of any sort of balance, or
Yeah.
you know, when you're being intentional with your time. That's
Yeah.
like.
I mean, I also
everything.
like I don't have a family yet. Like, I know it's harder. Like, you have kids. Like, that I'm sure changes everything. I can be selfish, and like,
Yeah.
my time is my own right now.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of leaning into that and being selfish in that way, which I think I should be.
100%. I actually like don't even think it's selfish, right? Like, I think the word selfish almost gets this like negative rep, but like it's just you're prioritizing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's like really important.
Yeah. This.
Yeah, this. I was gonna say acupuncture, but whatever. Like, I think the acupressure, whatever this lovely gentleman just did to me, is beyond.
Laser Genesis.
Oh wow.
Have you done Laser Genesis?
Yeah, but not in a long time.
It's my favorite skin treatment. I swear by it. I tell everyone to get it. It's
Wow.
just changed my skin.
Really?
Yeah. Truly.
I guess mine would be massages. Like,
Oh,
whether
that's
it's
a good one.
reflexology or like scalp massages. Like, I just like being touched.
Yeah. Skincare.
Skincare. LED lights.
Ooh, good one. I really do love a mask. Is that like a self-care product?
Yeah, of course.
I love a good old face mask. Nothing makes me feel better than throwing on a face mask.
Great pick-me-up. Steph, thanks so much for chatting
Oh, this is like
about all this. And
the best way to do these types of things.
I
Like,
completely agree.
this is so genius. I could sit here forever.
I know, so now we're actually gonna relax and enjoy this treatment. And obviously, if you're not following Steph Shep, you need to follow Steph Shep on Instagram, and follow Future Earth.
And follow Future Earth.
Okay, amazing. Thanks, Steph.